Okay, so today is February the 23rd, 2025. And I want to talk about something that's, it's starting to bother me as of late. We know about all of the mass deportation orders and all of that. But what's coming to light is the deep divisions between different populations of African descent, particularly with all the rest of the African populations, Caribbean populations, Central South American populations, against the American black population. I've been watching numerous social media platforms as of late because this is trending on social media right now. It started with the Hispanics, but lately it's becoming crystallized. These divisions between the blacks themselves, the blacks and the people who are black, but don't want to, they don't consider themselves black. So this is an article that I'm going to read to you from the BBC. It's titled, "Trump Ends Deportation Protection for 500,000 Haitians." So I'm going to read this article. It's a short article, so just bear with me because I'm going somewhere with this. It says the U.S. government will end the temporary protected status for 500,000 Haitians living in the country in August, the Department of Homeland Security said on Thursday. This comes despite deteriorating conditions in the Caribbean country, with gangs controlling about 85% of the capital and sexual violence against children increasing by 1,000% last year. Don't believe that. TPS, which is temporary protection status, is granted to nationals of designated countries facing unsafe conditions such as armed conflict or environmental disasters. U.S. President Donald Trump has moved to overhaul parts of the U.S. immigration system since returning to office and promised mass deportations and arrests. TPS has been held by Haitians since 2010 and will be ending on the 3rd of August, 2025. This means they will lose their work permits and could be eligible for deportation. On February the 1st, the Trump administration announced the status would also end for Venezuelans living in the U.S., but this is currently facing a legal challenge from the National TPS Alliance. For decades, the TPS system has been exploited and abused, the Department of Homeland Security said in a statement on Thursday. The system has allowed Haitians who entered the U.S. illegally to qualify for legal protected status, it added. But the announcement has also been met with criticism. More than 5,600 people in Haiti have been killed in gang violence last year. And the UN has said families are struggling to survive in makeshift shelters while facing mounting health and protection risk. Democratic Congresswoman Ayanna Presley called the decision shameful amid the unspeakable violence in Haiti. Haitians who have lived in the U.S. for 15 years are at risk of deportation for no reason other than being Haitian, she added. That's a lie. During his presidential campaign, Trump made a baseless claim that illegal immigration from Haiti had been eating domestic pets in a small Ohio city. City officials told BBC Verify there had been no credible reports that this actually happened. Then, U.S. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby called the claim a conspiracy theory based on an element of racism. Okay, so we're next going to get into Dennis Sperling. And, Dennis Sperling, that's my boy. I like Dennis Sperling. He has the Dennis Sperling podcast. But as of late, Dennis Sperling, who is a renowned black attorney, he's been going kind of hard on different populations of African people. And again, this all over social media, and it's starting to become dangerous. And the reason why I say it's starting to become dangerous is because it's deepening the divisions that already exist amongst us. I don't know why black people seem to be the only people on the planet Earth who don't believe in rapprochement. I think I pronounced it right. So when we develop a dislike for another group of black folks, I guess it's supposed to last forever. You know, for whatever reason, you can call it emotional immaturity. We have an inability to be able to come to a round table, sit down, and discuss the primary contradictions, and based upon the discussion and the outcome, scientifically develop resolutions to eradicate whatever divisions or contradictions exist between us. We seem not to have that ability. During World War II, Russia, who actually won World War II, the war, never believed that the United States won that war. No, Russia won that war. They lost 30 million people in World War II fighting against the Germans. They lost 30 million people. They were able to sit down after Germany was defeated. They were able to sit down and iron out their disagreements and do business with one another. They drew peace with one another. Once, when Germany surrendered, they drew peace with one another. And to this day, despite what's going on, with World War III on the horizon, they still do business with one another. Black folks, Haitians, Jamaicans, Caribbeans, wherever you're from, black folks from America, at some point, we're gonna have to become adults. And, despite what's occurring between us, we're gonna have to sit down and we're gonna have to talk like men. The men got to sit down to talk, not the women. The men have to sit down and talk and iron out the contradictions. But Rocco, sit down. This dog is a dog from hell. We're gonna have to sit down and iron out the contradiction. So let's get into a little bit of what Dennis Sperling is talking about, because like I say, he's been going extremely hard against other African populations lately, and I know exactly why he is doing it. I know. Let's get into it.
What's up? Welcome, everybody.
This is Dennis Sperling here.
Shout out to everybody in the chat room, man. This is Dennis Sperling, man. We coming back for a hot one. I want to give a big shout out to all my members. Shout out to Lex No Luther. Big up to you, man. Shout out to Mr. 43TX. Shout out to all my guys in here, man. I know we're a little late tonight. We usually come on at 7. Okay, but Uncle D had prayer service. Hallelujah. I got this fresh cut too, baby. I'm feeling myself out here needing drinks, baby. You better watch it. You better watch yourself, man. But anyway, man, I'd like to thank everybody for coming through, man. We're going to have a good conversation here this evening, okay, this afternoon, this morning, wherever you are. My name is also known as the Blizzard King. The reason I'm the Blizzard King is because I spit this cold hard truth.
Get away, Rocco.
Whether
Bye.
people like it
Go.
or not.
Move.
It doesn't really particularly matter to me if you do or if you don't. I just think it's necessary because truth, when you have truth, then the Most High is present. Now, that being the case, hot boy Donald Trump has decided, hallelujah, he has decided it is time to do some deportation mechanizations. And he just announced that the temporary protected status of the Haitian people from the island of Haiti has been revocated, okay? It's been revoked. I mean, since he's been back in office since January 20th, 2025, Donald Trump, within a matter of hours, he had ICE out there cracking heads and sending folk home, all right? And he promised massive deportations, and it looks to me like he's going to do everything he possibly can to get that done. Now, these folks, he's now targeting people with what is called temporary protected status. In other words, they came here and Joe Biden under his administration said you can have temporary protected status. Temporary, okay? Temporary implies not forever, okay? But apparently, these 500,000 Haitians have relied on this temporary protected status extension for years now, okay? And now it's on the chopping block, okay? The Biden administration gave him an additional 18 months of protection right before he left office. And hot boy Donald Trump just said, no, no, player, you out of here. And so instead of it ended 18 months from now, it's going to end on August 3rd, which is approximately 6 months from now. And so now you got Haitians out here panicking.
We got to remember, August the 3rd is the month of Black August. So that is a part of our culture in America.
We want to do a going back quick. There you got to go. You going to go. But nevertheless, Haitians were never meant to stay indefinitely, just like the rest of these folks. Yet for decades, they, like many other immigrants, milked the system. They banked on the sympathy of the previous administrations to avoid going back. And well, Trump is a different kind of dude. He's not playing that game. And he shut down the border, mass deportation. Shout out to, I can't say that name, TW man, DP, can't say it. Not gonna try it. I'm just call you MTC. Shout out to AMTC. Thank you, man. I'm gonna give a shout out to you because you're the first one to contribute to the super chat. So big up to you for being first up to bat. But so anyway, Trump is not having it. He's into these mass deportations, and I forgot to put my cash app up. Let me get that cash app up. And nevertheless, the temporary protected status is no longer going to be an indefinite loophole to stay here forever. Now, the question we have to ask ourselves is, where is the outrage from the foundational Black American family? Now, if you don't know what foundation...
He's talking about the 1619. When you say foundational blacks, Black Americans, New Africans, African American, we're talking about the 1619. The people who can trace their lineage back to the slave ships of 1619. Not the blacks who were here before. We know there were blacks here before. He's talking about where's the outrage amongst the 1619 blacks. There is no outrage. And you know why there's no outrage? And this particular, Dennis Sperling, he's like President Putin. He can talk for hours. The reason why there's no outrage that the Haitians are being deported, the Nigerians are being deported, people from, Jamaica are being deported, is because most of their population, they wanted to enjoy American society. They don't understand the deep racism and white supremacy of American society. So when they came to America, they made the conscious decision to remain separate from the 1619 blacks. They made that decision. And as a result of them consciously making that decision with malice and aforethought, they're being targeted now because they do not have that umbrella of protection from the Black community that they would have had if they would have integrated into the Black community, thereby enriching us all as a people. No, they wanted to remain distinct and separate. So, and not only did they want to remain distinct and separate, but they've been very, very disrespectful about the entire situation. Very disrespectful to the 1619 blacks. So let's keep going.
Black American, and just add foundation onto Black American. And that's pretty much what it is. For the most part, it establishes that there was a group of Africans or people of African descent who were here in this country prior to its establishment, who were here at the foundation, who helped create the foundation for this country. Those people have decided to delineate themselves from the immigrant Black American community or the African Black American community or the Caribbean Black American community. Okay? Now, you would think that because they share, or we share this common ancestry, that there would be some sort of outrage, okay? But now you don't see any. You see? It's very interesting. Where's the solidarity? Where did the love go? It's just another TKO. Where did the love go?
This dude is
Where
hilarious.
did the love go? See what I'm saying? And here's the problem. See, for years, these Haitian migrants, remember back a few years ago when the Haitian migrants were being rounded up on the Texas border, and the Border Patrol was on the horseback with the little whip. Get over here, boy. Get over here. I mean, he was trying to be like his great-granddaddy or something like that. It appeared like they were whipping him. Well, it was foundational Black Americans that spoke up. We applied pressure. We forced the Biden administration to back down. And we got results. Okay, but this time...
You hear that? We went out there and protested because other black folks were being abused. See, there's definitely an ideological difference, and it has everything to do with our concrete development in this country. We look at other black folks as black folks. We don't care where you're from. You could be from Pluto. If your skin color is our skin color, then we African American, the 1619 blacks, we look at you as a brethren. But other populations of Africans, they don't look at us as brethren. They look at us as their opposition.
There was no mass protests, no viral hashtags, no FBA leaders stepping up to demand change. What you have right now for most foundational Black Americans is silence. Okay, shout out to Reg Turner. We got silence. And the question is why? Why? And the Haitians have to, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because the Haitians haven't shown any solidarity with black folks, foundational Black Americans. That's the simple question. The Haitians as a group have never stood with FBAs for any distinct period of time. And it's just time to tell the truth about their behavior. They've been disrespectful. Haitians distance themselves like many other Africans and people of African descent, Caribbean descent. They distance themselves from Black Americans. They proudly claim, I'm not Haitian, I'm black, and you black as hell. But you talk about you ain't black, you are black as hell. Okay? I'm not saying, I'm pointing it out. All right? Right? Yeah, they act as though FBA culture is beneath them. Right? They practice these exclusionary practices. Haitians, you refuse to align yourself with the FBA struggles. You prefer to carve out your own identity. Well, you enjoy the benefits of what FBA activism has done, right? And secure it, but you want to be on your own. So you straddling the fence, okay?
Okay, so I'm going to leave it there, but if you want to check that podcast out, then go over to the Dennis Sperling podcast. And I'm telling you, all his videos as of late has been attacking other populations of blacks. And I know why he's doing it. He's not doing it because he's getting a thrill out of this. He's doing it because he's putting a mirror up in front of these different groups' faces and and what he's saying is, look how you guys treated us when you got here. Look how you treated us. This entire situation with the black immigrants could have been avoided only if they would have come to America. They came over here. They came to the house of the 1619 blacks. And they came to our house and they disrespected us. And that goes for all of the black immigrants, black immigrant groups that came to the country. And, we're not saying that it was every one of them. There are no absolute in situations as this. When I was living in San Francisco, once I started to interact with the blacks from Cuba, then I started to see that there was some commonality between us, And the black folks from Cuba, that's my color, they don't call themselves Afro-Hispanics. They call themselves black. Even though there's a cultural difference, a language difference, they evolved under conditions different from ours. We all looked at ourselves as black. When I first encountered them, there was some tension between me and the black Cubans over in San Francisco. But that's another story. But so he just told you why there's such deep divisions now. But my position is this here. At some point, we're going to have to digress. The men from all of these different groups are going to have to come forward and sit at the war table. And we are going to have to address the situation. The women are not going to be able to do this. It's going to take the men, right? And the reason why, this topic is so important to me is because I'm 10K. And when I say I'm 10K, we have a internationalist outlook. And if we're going to do business with one another on an international level, then we're going to have to make compromises. There's going to have to be the great compromise, and we're going to have to develop conflict resolutions in order to bring us into a closer harmony. Now, we don't have to be the best of buddies, but if we're going to do business with people outside the shores of America, then we're going to have to establish some type of truth and reconciliation committee like they did in South Africa when apartheid collapsed. We're going to have to do that. And again, 1619 social media platforms. It seems to me, the ones I've seen, that they're starting to toe the same line now. I mean, that animosity that was under the surface for so long between the 1619 blacks and other groups is starting to come to the surface now. And the 1619 blacks is like to hell with all of them. They all can go. They all can go. And me as an internationalist, I think it is very important for black folks. I don't care where you're from. And I'm calling you black. You can say whatever. You can say that you the Incredible Hulk. Oh, I'm not black. I'm the Incredible Hulk. I don't give a damn. If you look like me, you're black. We're gonna have to sit down and we're gonna have to resolve this issue right here, because at some point over here in this country, this country has one of the most brutal, bloodiest histories of all countries. It's going to turn physical at some point, because the 1619 blacks are fed up with other groups of blacks. And let me show, you come to the house of 1619, you come to house 1619 and you disrespect us, right? We didn't go to your country. We never went to your country. You came to our country and you disrespected the hell out of us. Now, I am of the mindset that some of these contradictions can be resolved. But again, you have a whole lot of African Americans, they like, man, those people get the middle finger, because see, they're not looking at the long-term picture the way I'm looking at the long-term picture. We have to become men. But let me show the people, the black immigrants who aren't from America. Let me share something with you, pertaining to black American history and why the 1619 blacks are so outraged that you would have the audacity to come up into our land. You have the audacity to come up into our land and align yourself with the colonizer. Do you know who this guy is? That's a face right there if you can't recognize it. Y'all know who he is? If you from Haiti or you from Africa, you probably don't know who he is. Let me show you who he is. That's what he was. That's Emmett Till. That's what he was. He was lynched. He's from Chicago. He was a 14-year-old kid. And after they lynched him, his mother found him like this. She demanded that the casket remain open at his funeral because she wanted to show the world what they'd done to her son and show the conditions that 1619 blacks are living under in America at that time. Let's keep going. That's what they did to her baby. So when you come over here and you disrespect us in the manner that you guys have, there's no get back. There's no get back. Let's look at some more. Let's look at some more photos. You see that right there? That's a picture of a black man surrounded by colonizers. They burnt him at the stake. He's burnt. Let's look at some more. I have to bring up some better photos because we're going to get to the bottom of this. This is going to be a problem. I'm telling you now. Okay? Let's look at this one. You see that there? Another lynching in the South. That is the picture of a 1619 black who was lynched and hung from a tree. You see his body? It's limp. There's a rope around his neck hanging from a limb. Let's look at a couple more, man. Because now I'm starting to get mad. Because you don't come to our house, man, and disrespect us like that. You don't come over here, you don't do us like that, I'm telling you, because we would never go to Haiti, we would never go to Jamaica, we would never do any of that inside of your country and think that it would be cool to talk about you inside your country. It ain't cool for you to do us like that either. Right? Let's look at a couple more. Look at the brother. That's another brother right there. He still got his hat on his head. He's dead. He was lynched by a white mob. Three more brothers hung in a trio, lynched by a white mob. See, the younger generation of blacks, they don't know nothing about these images here because now we live in a woke culture and their parents didn't share this with them. And if the 1619 blacks didn't share it with their kids, surely your parents, you immigrant blacks, you don't know nothing about this. You heard about it, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what they've done to us over here in this country, man. I'm going to show you, man, how African Americans have been treated in this country. And then you people, and I say you people nicely, you have the audacity to come over here and disrespect us. We ain't going for that no more. I'm telling you right now. We're not going for it. Two more brothers. A duo hung. Look at the white mob down there, right? And a lot of these pictures have disappeared off the internet. They never should have disappeared off the internet. But again, we live in a woke society, so we want to hide the true history of what happened to 1619 blacks inside this country. And we can go on and on and on and on with the photos, right? But there used to be thousands of, look at this one. You see that there? Do you see that? They burnt him on a cross. They lynched him. A white mob lynched him. Let's see if I can find another one that when I first saw this, I almost cried. You see that there? That's a black woman. That's a black woman that they lynched and hung her from a tree and took a photo of her for all to see. See, this is our history. And we can go on, we can go to the, the rebellions, that transpired back in the 20s and 30s. We can go through the civil rights movement from the 50s to the 70s. We can go to the Black Liberation Movement, the real BLM, not Black Lives Matter. We can go to the real BLM, the acronyms that's inside the FBI files. We can talk about the hundreds of people who were lynched by the FBI and secret intelligence units off inside every police department inside the country. We can go on and on and on. We can show you picture after picture of, look at this. Another brother hung from a tree. See, you immigrant groups, you Hispanics, you don't know nothing about this here. You don't know how brutal white supremacy can be inside of America. But the 1619 blacks, we do. So when you come over here and you try to play victim and get specialized treatment, and you want to distance yourself from the blacks, and you disrespect us and call us lazy, talk about our culture and all that. No, we have a rich culture. Now, not modern day black culture, because modern day black culture is trash. It is the true representation of white supremacy won over the black population. The Glorrillas of the world, all these rap artists, the LGBT woke people and all this old kind of stuff. But this is why there's no outrage coming from 1619 blacks, the blacks, the American blacks. They're not angry that the Haitians or any other African population that's not 1619, we're not mad. We're not mad. But we're going to have to resolve that contradiction between us, especially with the multipolar world developing. We also are going to have to sit down and do business with one another. So this is where the 10K guys, we're going to try to, limit ourselves in this embroiled contradiction that's coming to the surface. We're going to try to be the mediators. But I'm going to tell you right now, the 1619 blacks, most of them, and when we have a population of 45 million over here, most of us don't care. Most of us, we don't care what happens to y'all, right? You're going to be deported. You can hide, you can run, but you're going to be deported. The executive order was signed. The resources that you took for granted have been cut off. And eventually, you're going to get hungry. You're going to get thirsty. You're going to come outside, or you're going to pop up out of the sewer. I don't know where y'all hiding at, but y'all hiding right now. And you're going to get deported. Notice how there has been not one federal judge in the country to block Trump's mass deportation order. They blocked natural birth citizenship. They blocked that, but it's only temporary. But not one judge has blocked mass deportation. So this is what I recommend. You're going to get deported. The Republicans are going to be in office for the next 8 years. Donald Trump, 4, and the Republicans are going to win after that. So they're going to be in there for, you're not going to be able to run and hide for 8 years. It's like, it'd be like a convict escaped out of prison. He can only hide for so long. So my suggestion is that, first and foremost, all of you immigrant population groups, the blacks, you need to send your leaders out. And your leaders need to be the voice of your collective. And you need to offer a formal apology to Black America. See, again, Black Americans, I said it before, we're some of the most forgiving people on the planet Earth. Apologize. This is something that you have to do. Because if you don't, you're not going to enjoy any form of protection coming from the 1619 community, you need to apologize, right? Once you are deported, because you're being deported and you're never coming back. But when your grandkids come back, they need to have undergone re-education about the importance of the history of the 1619 blacks and the importance of developing strong alliances with the blacks inside this country. And most importantly, when you come back, you need to quickly miscegenate into the 1619 population. Yes, keep your culture. Yes, bring your culture, infuse it with us. Enrich our culture, enrich our experience. But don't try to remain separate. Because if you try to remain separate, this cycle is going to repeat itself. Now, say for instance, you from Nigeria or Kenya or Ethiopia, and you come over here and you done had babies by Black Americans. Do you actually think that Black Americans are going to sit back and let their husbands and girlfriends and nieces and nephews and cousins be deported? Come on, man. It's not going to happen. Black folks, what the world know about two groups of black folks that the world know that's going to engage in political uprisings. They know that the blacks up out of South Africa is going to do it. And they know these blacks over here in America are going to do it. So you need to infuse your blood into ours. Don't try to remain separate. But, for you guys that's already here, it's over with for y'all. The executive, no Republican president is going to overturn it. And at the end of the Trump administration, the climate in America is going to be anti-immigrant, illegal anti-immigrant. That's what the climate is going to be. So it's going to be extremely difficult for a Democratic president to try to undo what the Republicans have done. So y'all checkmated yourselves on this one. And for that, you got to go. But again, I just wanted to make that video. Okay, I've been rambling for almost 40 minutes now. I hope y'all watch this video. I hope you like, and I hope y'all subscribe to this video. I'm going to do another video in a couple minutes, but it's going to be, again, we're going to have some fun Fridays. Today is Sunday. But I'm going to do a funny video in a minute. But, again, this is a very serious situation right here because I'm an internationalist and I see my people being attacked. I see my people attacking one another. Whether you Haitian, Jamaican, from Africa, or blacks from the U, I see my people attacking one another. And I am obligated because I love my people. I don't care where you're from. I love my people. I don't like to see the infighting amongst my people. But and y'all need to demand that they put them pictures back up on the internet. And all those movies that they made about us back in the 20s and 30s, those movies need to reappear. I don't care if it hurts your feelings. I don't care if the black woke sisterhood don't want it up. Our people need to see our true history. The world needs to see what these people done to us over here. And it's certain records said it was over, between 5,000 and 8,000 African Americans lynched. But I can tell you one thing, under the police department, it's been way more than that. So I'm going to end this video, and I hope that, I didn't, ramble on too much. But again, man, we got to find a common ground. I don't care where you're from, man. If you're black, you're black. Bottom line. So let's make amends to one another. And on that note, Shalewa.